If there was a bomb strapped to my chest that would blow up in 30 days, if I didn't get to 10K a month, this is exactly what I would do. So the very first thing you have to do is you have to figure out the actual math as to how I'm going to do this. Now, if I'm on a 30-day time frame, I'm going to have to get people to pay me a lot of money up front. I can't really do this, recurring thing as much. So what I would do is I would sell 3 months of service for 5K. Right? And this is what I would do. Now, there's different ways you can price this. You could do it for 10K and then you'd only have to get one sale. 5K, you obviously need 2 sales. 3.5K, you need 3 sales, or 2.5K, you need 4 sales. The reason why I would do 5 is because the difference between 3.5 and 5 is not much of a difference. And, signing 50% more clients even when it's only 2 could be a little bit challenging. So I think this is the sweet spot that I would charge for. This is what I would do. Now, once we have selected this, we basically need to figure out, okay, what can we do for people to get them, 5K worth of stuff, basically. So people are only going to pay you a lot of money if they feel like what you are doing is very specific to their situation and that can actually solve their problem. So what I would do is I would pick an industry. It doesn't really matter which one you pick as long as they have the problem, and any industry have problems, right? So let's just say, for the sake of this argument, I would probably work with the agency niche because I've been doing that for 2 years. But if you took away all my experience, I would probably pick something like home services or something like that not a lot of people are targeting because everyone's trying to work with coaches and consultants nowadays, right? So I would probably pick something with home services, right? Now, what do these people typically want, right? Let's even go actually more specific than this. Let's do specifically with roofers, right? Now, what do these roofers want, right? They want more jobs. They want to do more roofs, basically, right? So what I would do is once I know, the people that I'm servicing, which is these roofers, and I know what they want, which is basically more jobs, right? Now my job is to find what is the easiest way to get them the most amount of jobs in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of stuff. And the way to do that would probably be through Facebook ads of some sort. And that's probably what the best service for them would be. So then I would just do, Facebook ads, and I would charge 3 months for 5K plus ad spend. And this is what I would do. Now, the next thing that you need to do, obviously, is we need to make this math work. We need to actually get these people in the sales process, right? So let's say, obviously, to get to 10K a month, we would need to sign 2 of these clients every single month. In order to do that, we'd probably need to take 10 calls, live calls, if they, have a 20% close rate, which we're going to assume that we do. And then we would need to get probably about 15 to 20 bookings, right? So we'd need 20 appointments. However, we have a bomb strapped to our chest, so we don't want to, get this exactly right. We want to over project a little bit. So I'm going to try and get to 50 appointments, right? Or really as many as we possibly can. So once you have selected, once you realize, okay, we need this amount of meetings, this is the niche, this is the problem we're solving, this is the solution we can offer, this is what we're charging. Now we need to find out how we're actually going to get these clients. So, if you whatever niche you decide to go into, right, whatever person's problem you decide to solve, what you need to do is you need to identify where are all of the places where you can contact them online, right? So with these people, SMS is going to be a big one. You can text them. Everyone has a phone. You can phone them. It's very easy to find these people's phone numbers, and you can email them as well. You can't really do anything with LinkedIn here. You can't really do anything with Instagram here. You can't really do much with Facebook here. Depending on your niche, those might be useful. These might be less useful. But if we're targeting, these kind of people, this is going to be the best way to reach out to them. So then what I would do is I would just do as much volume as I possibly can. So I know that the easiest way to do the most amount of volume in the shortest amount of time is to do SMS outreach, right? And you can just send out one blast and you can contact 1,000 people in like 2 days. So what I would do is I would I would spend a little bit of money here. If you don't have money, get a job and then try this. What I would do is I would buy Go High Level, right? And I would buy Clear Out Phone, which basically tells us if it's a mobile number or not when we scrape the number. And then I would get, I would get a VA to, actually, I probably wouldn't get a VA. You could probably just do this yourself for free with Instant Data Scraper, which is basically this free Chrome extension that you can download that you can scrape Google Maps for free. So that's how I would get the numbers. This is how I would make sure they're valid. And then I would basically we use Clay right now to enrich the phone numbers to get the names of the owner, but I would probably just do it myself if I was starting up. And then I would put all that data into Go High Level, and then I would send out a text blast to probably, we would do about 600 per day, right? Because again, what else are you going to do other than outreach at this point? Because you don't have any sales calls to take and you don't have any clients to deliver on yet. So I would just be fully focused on this. So I would set up the automation inside of High Level to do 600 SMS leads per day. And again, the channels here are going to be different based on your niche, right? But we would do 600 a day. Now, when you're sending out these texts, the way that we do it is we send an initial text. If they're interested, then we call them and then we book them in. So our metrics right now is we have about a 20% positive reply rate on these SMS, which is, yes, insane. So we would get 120 positive replies, right? And then I would want to turn positive replies. And then I would want to turn these 120 positive replies and get about 20% of those people to book, which would be, 24 meetings. So if we did that, and if we literally just did this the entire day, we would end up getting about 24 meetings per day. And this is like actually our numbers. We obviously don't do this much volume. We're kind of at the point where we just need reps. But anyways, this is how I would get the meetings. If for some reason we weren't able to do this with much volume, because yeah, you're right, enriching these numbers might take a little bit longer. So maybe we'd only be able to do, let's just say, for example, we'd only be able to do 100 a day. And then we would get about, 20% reply rate, which would be about 20 total positive replies. And then let's say from that, we book 4 meetings in a day instead of 24, right? So this is what we would do here. Then the other times that we would do this is I would send out emails to every person that positively replied here that did not actually book. So this is where, most people would just optimize over one channel. But really the outsized returns are going to be when you can contact the same person that is interested on multiple different platforms. So I would email this person, and I would also call this person every single day for the next 30 days, right? Because we already know they're interested. We really just need to push to get this guy over the line. So this would probably get us another 1 meeting a day. This would probably get us another 1 meeting a day. This puts us at 6 meetings a day. If we get 6 meetings a day, we're probably going to get like 3 or 4 shows a day. And if we do that, for the next 30 days, then we should be able to get these meetings. So doing all of this will probably take 8 hours a day. And then the other 4, 2 or 3 hours that calls show up is when you're going to be doing sales calls, and all the other discretionary time I would just focus into practicing sales calls and reviewing sales calls. Because at this point, the main thing we need to do is just get clients, and then once we have them, then we can focus on the service delivery. So the main takeaway from this, and this is why it takes so long for people to get this right, is number one, they need good metrics, right? So they need like the 100 per day turning into 4 meetings. Is not many people know how to do that, right? That is something that, if you're a fit, we do work with clients on. If you're interested, and you can check the link in the description below to see how we can, help you out with this part. But some people, when they do have these numbers, like they know, like if they do 100 cold calls, they'll get even like 1 or 2 meetings. The thing is they don't do enough volume, and they think the solution is to fix the optimization rate or the booking rate of their system rather than just doing more. So I have a lot of clients and that work with me. They get their numbers right. They're booking like 1 meeting for every 50 outreach they do. And they're like, Josh, how can I get 3 meetings for every 50 outreach I do? And the question that they're asking is it's just the wrong question you should be asking. The question you need to be asking is, how can I get this 50 to 500? Because most of the time that is significantly easier, than trying to make this 50 go into 3. And then just by 10xing this, which is not hard, you just increase the thing you're doing and just do 10 times more of it already because you already know it works. That's 10 meetings, right? Instead of just trying to somehow get this to 3, which is very, very, very hard. So yeah, that's basically how this all works. This is what I would do. The main thing is you just need to do a ton of volume so that it becomes unreasonable that you fail. And if you do that, 10K a month is not hard. Well, it is hard. It's very simple. You just need to do a lot of what works. So hopefully this helps.